and welcome to this week's vlog. There was no vlog last week as I was moving into my new home, which is behind me. So we've been super busy with sort of semi-renovating the house before Christmas because Christmas is next Saturday. Today I have a dressage lesson with a very, very good old friend at Sitting Pretty Dressage. Her name is Anna Bostrand Daly. She is like a Grand Prix dressage rider, and I'd say 6 years ago I actually used to be her groom. So I'm super close to her horses and I can't wait to see her progress and how she's been getting on. She had quite a few young horses at the time, and I've seen like they are now competing at Prix St George and high level, so I can't wait to see them. And we're actually taking JJ today for the dressage lesson, which should be really fun, and I love riding JJ. He is such a good boy. So I'm gonna get myself sorted, go feed my boys, and then get ready for the dressage lesson and take JJ over and have a bit of fun, and maybe a little bit Christmassy too, as it is Christmas next week. I'm now at the yard, which is actually a 2-minute drive from my new house, which is amazing. As before, I was driving half an hour to come to the yard. So yeah, it's lovely. So I'm just gonna feed my boys. They have some equine conditioning mash and some chaff, and they live out in the field, and then they have a hay net, one in the morning, one at night. So it's quite easy. I just give them the feed, give them their hay, and they're just out doing their thing. And yeah, and then I'm gonna choose a matchy set for JJ because he looks lovely in matchy. And I kind of have like a matchy addiction. So my boys probably have 20 plus saddle pads. I know that's really bad, but I can't help it. And I think for a dressage lesson you should be in bandages and be all nice. So I'm gonna choose him a nice set and get my riding stuff, and then it's a 10-minute drive down to JJ's yard. Are you starving? Are you starving? Oh, and Mummy leave you in the rain with the field shelters. Oh, Finny, you're starving. Good boy. Yeah. Hey, Will. Good boy. Don't come too close because he'll tell you off. See, I told you. All right, let's get some breakfast. But Will always has to kick his food bowl over, and this most annoying thing in the world, because I mean, that can't be very nice to eat that off the mud, and B, if you're anywhere near, you get catapulted with breakfast. But that's how he likes it. Okay? How'd you like your breakfast in the morning? I like mine covered in mud. Silly pony, aren't you? Be more sensible like Finley. Yes, all ready to go. And look how cute he is in his red bandages. I'm going to try and put some plaits in his tail as a little ribbon. You're not bothered about the holly ball on your head, are you? No. You good boy. You're so handsome. And he just looks so clean. Hey, good boy, JJ. We'll tackle that tail. Put some pretty plaits in, maybe. Good boy. How cute his tail looks. I've got little bows in it. JJ, you got your Christmas hat on. So soft, he looks so cute. JJ, look at all the stuff you have to put up with. So we started off by warming up and trotting on a 20-metre circle, and we were just trying to get him to like stop. You can see he's kind of fighting me here. I'm just trying to get him to lift and bend through his inside shoulder. I mean, he'll bend his head to the inside, but he doesn't like work through his shoulder. So you can see I'm putting on my inside leg and just asking for almost a little bit of shoulder fore, just to try and encourage him to go through that shoulder. There we go. And he's just starting to soften now. So we're starting off on a 20-metre circle, and then we start to wind it in. He's still fighting me a little bit, so I'm just trying to get him forward into the hand and getting him using his body properly. Look at the lovely mirrors at the school. We're now going to start winding things down. Here we go. So it's now like a 15-metre circle. And I go into sitting trot. It's just easier for me because when he twists his shoulder out, it kind of pushes me out of the saddle, and he's quite bouncy, so I almost find it easier to ride him in sitting trot because it's like I can get my legs down and around him. So again, I'm just trying to get him to soften through that shoulder. He has a very active and engaged hind end, but because he's such a big horse, he really struggles to lift through that shoulder. So this exercise was super helpful for that. And I'm just going to start winding it out again without too much flexion through his neck. It's all about that shoulder. So we're just winding it out again and going back into rising trot. And hopefully when we go large, he should be much, much straighter. So we did the exact same exercise in the canter, which I found a lot harder. I'm not quite sure if it's because he's got quite a bouncy canter. I mean, he has a lovely canter, but I found this exercise harder. I think it was just the idea of trying to keep his head up, leg on, and he's quite a lot of horse. So we started off just on a 20-metre circle, and again, winding it in. You'll see me tap on his shoulder a couple of times just to sort of tell him to get off it. He tends to sort of fall in rather than hold himself. Here we go. He does start to soften a bit more, and he produces a really lovely canter. But doing a small circle with him is particularly hard because he is a big boy, and it's quite hard for him to sort of like hold himself. So the sort of ideal goal at the end was for him to lift more. We wanted him to like become more up into the bridle and be fluent through his body too.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
So the next exercise we did was coming down the centre line and then riding like a 10-metre circle off the centre line. Then once we'd ridden the circle, we'd go into sitting trot and ride shoulder 4 straight down the centre line. Again, we're just working on that shoulder coming up and through. We didn't want him to do like a shoulder in, we just wanted to get a bit more lift through that shoulder. And there we go. And then he really, really softens and looks really good when I've got him going. But he's fighting. You can see there he wants to twist his head to the outside. So it's kind of lifting your inside hand whilst keeping your leg on to encourage him to sort of work through that shoulder. So we're now going to come down the centre line and do that again. This is his more twisty rein. So I'm trying to be nice and straight and then ride this circle so I can get the inside bend and then continue with the inside bend down the rest of the centre line. There we go. And you can almost see as soon as I go into sitting trot and I get my leg down and around him, there, I find it so much easier. He's fighting. Yeah, you see him fighting and then I tapped him up. And there we go. There we go. What a good boy. To finish, we picked up the canter and we just had a canter round, like riding just off the track, just getting him to again lift through his shoulder, and we really wanted him to come up and get a really lovely bouncy canter and use himself. He was really running out of puff here and he was finding it really mentally tricky. I mean, he's quite a fit horse, but he really struggles to like use himself properly. I think it's because he is like a heavyweight cob. It is quite mentally draining for him to do like a dressage session. But yeah, you can see here his canter's really coming on. He's really bouncy and engaged. He just wants to twist still. So I'm just encouraging that shoulder 4 when I come down the long side. But he looks really fabulous. So we established such a lovely canter at the end, which I was super, super pleased with.
Very nice.
So I had such a good dressage lesson on JJ. I find like he falls through one shoulder a bit and he sort of twists. So we really worked on that by doing lots of shoulder 4 work and just getting lifting up through his shoulders, because he's very engaged behind, but he tends to struggle with like holding his front up, as hard as that sounds. I'm not very good at explaining things. I apologise. Anyway, we had the best lesson. And he was just such a good boy. He's always so good and I just really enjoy riding him. And it wasn't too far, so it's quite nice when you don't have to travel. And then we've just been to our local tack shop and bought some horse feed, and I brought the guinea pigs a little tunnel because it's Christmas. So I'm going to just go and do my boys now, and then I'm thinking we might do some Christmas baking, even though I'm rubbish. Like the beginner's guide. So Today I thought we would do some jam tarts because they're supposed to be really easy, like that's why I've chosen them. And even though it's Christmas, I don't like mince pies, sorry guys. And yeah, I thought I could do them. I'm like a beginner baker, so your child is probably more experienced than me. So all I've done is got my ingredients, which is flour, butter, and an egg, which seems fairly straightforward. And the plan is to crumb it to make it like breadcrumbs, and I don't know the rest without looking at a recipe. So we'll go from there. So I am following the BBC Good Food recipe because I love recipes, even though most people probably think, do you not know how to do that off the top of your head? No, I don't. I literally did no baking as a child. I was too busy riding. So this whole section is very new to me. Anyway, so I've started off with butter and flour and measured it out and rubbed it together until it looks like breadcrumbs. And the next point is to add an egg, make it look like dough, and then stick it in the fridge for half an hour once it looks like dough. It says to put it in cling film, but I don't actually own any cling film yet. So I'm hoping if I just put it in the fridge it'll be okay. We'll soon see. And that is my amazing ball of dough, which is now going to go in the fridge for half an hour. I don't know why, that's what it says. And then back to rolling and stuff. Cool, so just got my pastry out the fridge, which looks like a little ball. And I've dusted the worktop, which you can't see as instructed. And I have buttered a 12 tin thing. And all I've got to do is roll it out so it's a pound coin thick, and then cut little holes in them, and then put some jam in, and then put it in the oven. So, fingers crossed. It can't be that hard. Yeah, so getting my ball. It's a shame you can't you can see, right? Can you see? Here's my food. So, ooh, it's actually really easy to roll. I was slightly concerned about this bit because this is where my dough usually breaks and goes very wrong. So I'm going to get this all good. I'm going to put them in the tin and then I'll show you what it looks like. These are my jam tarts that I'm now going to put in the oven. It said like 1 to 2 teaspoons of filling, but I was really scared that they were all going to overflow. They look really pretty until I put the jam in. But fingers crossed, now going in for 15 minutes and they might look okay. These are my finished jam tarts. I mean, this one's really pretty, but it goes worse as we go up, then it sort of goes into a car crash. But no, it's good, and hopefully they taste good. They look okay. I'm looking forward to having them for our little Christmas. Thank you for watching this week's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed the dressage lesson along with some Christmas cooking. If you've enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe, and pop on the notification bell as well. Bye!